Okay, this is the fifth video, and what we're going to do here is concatenate or bring together the different data elements in our status of funds data so that we can quickly and easily see them and assign values to them in this engine, so to speak, so that it will feed into our data that we can build our pivot tables off of. So the first thing I'm going to do are select these headings for consistency's sake and go ahead into the BQ status of funds are all, and just where the data table ends, I'm just going to copy and I'm going to paste these. And what you saw just happen is that the data table expanded automatically for me, which is perfect. It's exactly what we want. I'm going to go to the Deems data and do the same thing. Just going to paste these in here, and it's going to add them automatically to my status of funds. The next thing we're going to do, and I'm going to kind of, for the sake of saving time on the video for file size, I'm going into another sheet and I'm going to paste the formula, but I'll kind of walk you through what this formula does or why it works, how it works. So don't get, just give me 1 second here. So I'm going to paste that formula in, and into my PTEO for Deems, I'm going to paste it in, and I'll explain what these formulas mean. Alright. Okay, let me go back into the BQ data and explain what just happened here. So we're using two different formulas, different formulas in here to bring together our line of accounting, or what I'm calling a PTEO for consistency. So as you can see, just looking, we've got our OAC OBAN, our fund code, our budget activity, PEC, EEC, RCCC, and then ESP code here. So we've got basically everything we would want or need to be able to define this line of accounting. So the question is, how did we do that? How did I bring this together, and why does it have all the quotes and everything else? The first thing we're using is a formula called CONCATENATE. So as you can see here, join several text strings into one text string. So like any formula, I can select a data element and hit comma, and it's telling me in the formula, it's kind of helping me out. First text, comma, next text, comma, next text. And so what I want to do is just hit a quote, space, quote, and that gives me a space in between them so they don't get all clogged up where I can't really read them well. Let me just, for the sake of example, let me choose PEC, close the parenthesis, and then hit enter. And you can see it brought this C5 and the PEC together, just like I had asked it to do. It knows that my data table's name is BQ. It says go to the OBAN column in this column here and get C5, and then go to the PEC column and bring these two together. That's the nomenclature. That's what's going on. So when we go back into our longer formula here, you can see that that's all I've done. I've said this is the first part, comma, next part, comma, next part, comma. Then I start adding my spaces, and then the fund code, budget activity, PEC, and so on and so forth. What I did here with an if statement for this part here, what I did was tell it to say, hey, if the fund code is 56 mil pers, I want to see that BPAC. I don't want to see the EEC. Okay, that's all that is. And you don't need to know exactly how this works, although I would definitely suggest you learning it, getting comfortable, so that you can kind of expand this to your needs. The only other part of this formula that I haven't gone through yet is the trim function. So what we can see, or what can happen in your data, is that, let's go to one that I'm not using this project. Sometimes your data can come in, and let me go ahead and double click, or you can hit F2 into edit mode. But if I double click in the project, you see how it starts here? Sometimes your data may actually come in with several spaces that you don't actually see. So what the trim function does is it comes in and it looks at this here and says, trim out those blank spaces before or after. Okay, it just provides more consistency. So that's the concatenate or the PTEO, how we're defining our lines of accounting and what you're seeing. So the last thing we do, and come back to this video to get a better understanding, lots of YouTube stuff on this too, but we're going to hit Control Shift down arrow, copy this, and this is the last part here before we start defining them. I'm going to select this first row, and in the paste, I'm going to paste special and values. I don't want to paste that formula, I want to paste the values, so hit OK. So now what this is doing is, you see that table was in 34. It's dynamically expanding this table for me, pasting these values in here. What I'm going to do after this paste the BQ values in there, I'm going to go back in and grab my Deems values as well. Okay, I paused the recording real quick while that was thinking. I have several other things open, so it was not responding for a second. So I'm going to get Control down arrow. When you get to the bottom here, I expanded this to 3,000 rows that it'll have in the template. I'm going to go to my Deems data. I'm going to Control Shift down arrow, Control C, and then I'm going to come back to my description table where I'm at the end, and this row 913, paste, and then values. Okay, so now I've got all of my address directory from BQ and Deems in this file now. So this is exactly what we want. Hit Control down arrow, and you can see that it stops at 1057, but the table keeps going. So I'm going to hit Control Home back to the top, and now in this next video what I'm going to show you to do is how to what we're going to do are define these things. So that's the end of this video. Please go back and watch this again if it made sense or didn't make sense. We defined the PTEO, we copied and pasted the values in here, and now we're going to be ready to define them. See you in the next video.